Hello, my name is Israel. I am with the Oregon Health Insurance Marketplace. We're a state agency that connects people to their health insurance options. I'm here to talk to you guys today about some of the things that are available for you as what are called known as displaced workers. So you're losing coverage from your employer. So the first thing I'm going to mention to you is something called COBRA coverage. And COBRA is just a continuation of your existing benefits that you have through your current employer. So what that means to you is if you elect the COBRA coverage, you're going to have the same coverage. That means your same providers, same covered services, same cost for your services. The biggest difference, though, between the COBRA coverage and the coverage that you have right now is that typically employers contribute towards your employer, to that employer coverage if you are enrolled through them. However, when you switch to COBRA, they are under no obligation to help you with that, so you are typically responsible for that full amount, which can be very expensive. But we do mention it for you because it is the first thing that you're going to be offered, and it is something that you are familiar with. And some reasons why you might want to take COBRA even with having to pay the full cost is maybe you have a major surgery coming up that you don't want to start the process for with a new company. Sometimes you have very specific medical issues that you want to keep that continuity of care. Something to remember about COBRA coverage is that you have 60 days from your last day of employer coverage to decide whether you want to enroll into the COBRA coverage. And no matter when you choose to enroll during that 60 days, it's always going to be retroactive back to the day you lose your regular employer coverage. So that's another positive for COBRAs. There's never a gap between when your regular coverage ends and your COBRA coverage begins. So things to remember about your COBRA coverage: you have a 60-day window to enroll when your regular coverage ends. Once you've exceeded that time frame, COBRA is no longer an option for you. It's the same coverage that you have right now, except that you are now responsible for paying that full amount. Now, the next thing I'm going to mention to you is the marketplace, which is technically what I represent. So the marketplace is a one-stop shop where you can apply for financial assistance and then shop for coverage in the exact same place. So some benefits from the marketplace: there's financial assistance. And that assistance is based on a sliding scale. So the less you make, the more help you are going to get. And that assistance comes in two forms. The first is something called an advanced premium tax credit, which probably is the simplest way to think of it is it helps lower your monthly bill. Whatever you're approved for, you can lower your monthly premium by that amount. The second thing that's available as far as financial assistance goes is something called a cost sharing reduction, which is something unique to the marketplace. What a cost sharing reduction does is it lowers the cost when you actually use your insurance. So for example, let's say you have a $20 copay to go see your doctor. People that qualify for cost sharing reduction can see that amount reduced. For example, just using this as an example, that $20 could drop down to $5. A $15 prescription might drop down to $3. Anytime you are paying for something that is not your monthly premium, it affects it. It affects your deductibles, it affects your copays, and it affects something called your max out of pocket, which you can see some significant reductions for that. I'm going to explain max out of pocket too, because it's not a term many people are familiar with. So every time you are using your insurance, every time you go to the doctor, every time you pick up a prescription, every time you get a test done, the insurance company is keeping track of how much you spend. And once you spend an amount equal to your max out of pocket, you no longer pay for covered services for the rest of that calendar year as long as you're going in network. Now, for most plans available through the marketplace, the max out of pocket is around $9,000, $9,500. However, people that qualify for the cost sharing reductions can see that max out of pocket drop to as low as $1,000 on some plans. And that's a very significant savings. It is especially helpful, these cost sharing reductions are especially helpful for anyone that has chronic conditions or takes a lot of medications. Because every time they pick up those medications, every time they utilize those services, they're saving $5, $10, $15, $20. And that really starts to add up through the year. And for anyone that has those a lot of usage of their coverage, you can reach that $1,000 cap very early in the year. And the rest of the year, the only thing you're paying is your monthly premium, which you are also getting help paying for. So that's a very, very significant benefit for those people that are high utilizers. Key thing to remember about the marketplace is that just like COBRA, you do have a 60-day window from your last day of employer coverage to choose to enroll. However, one difference is when you enroll will affect when your marketplace coverage begins. The earlier you enroll, the earlier your coverage will begin. Unlike COBRA, it is not retroactive. So if you are trying to avoid a gap in coverage, it's going to be best to take action before your current coverage ends. If you miss out on that 60-day window, though, you will still have an opportunity every year during what's called open enrollment, November 1st through January 15th, for you to enroll in the upcoming year. So remember about your marketplace coverage. Financial assistance is available. You do have 60 days from your last day of employer coverage to choose to enroll. Otherwise, you will have to wait till the general open enrollment period. Next thing I'm going to talk about is the Oregon Health Plan, which is the state version of Medicaid. Some nice things about the Oregon Health Plan is it is a need-based program. If you qualify, there is no enrollment period. There's no time frame. If you apply and you qualify, you get the coverage as soon as possible. Another nice thing about the Oregon Health Plan is that there is no monthly premium and there is no cost per covered services. Now, the key thing about the Oregon Health Plan, though, is that your income does have to fall below certain guidelines in order to qualify. However, there have been some recent changes that offer access to the Oregon Health Plan for more people than ever. And always remember that children have an even higher threshold to qualify for the Oregon Health Plan. So what I like to say is that it may not be the sole answer for your situation, but especially if you have children in the household, it can be part of the answer for you, because remember that the Oregon Health Plan, there is no cost for it. So if you can get your kids covered, even if for some reason you don't qualify, you get your kids covered, that's savings for your household that you can use towards your own coverage or other services that you may need. So please keep that in mind. Also, if you're unsure about whether you qualify, there is a window shopping tool that you can use on our website, which you'll find the link probably where you found this video, that you can use where you enter some basic information about your household, and it can give you an estimate as to whether you qualify for the Oregon Health Plan or potentially the marketplace, and even give you an idea of what you might qualify for the marketplace when it comes to financial assistance. So things to remember about the Oregon Health Plan: you can apply at any time. No cost for the coverage, no cost for the services. There's expanded eligibility for children and increased eligibility for just general Oregonians nowadays. So please check your information to see if you qualify. But finally, the last thing I'm going to mention is Medicare. So if you are over the age of 65 or have been on disability for 2 consecutive years, you can potentially qualify for Medicare. And what I like to say about Medicare is it's pretty complicated. When you're getting close to turning 65, the feds send you a 200-page book called Medicare and You, and they kind of tell you to figure it out. Well, if you need assistance with that, there is a state agency that helps you with that. It's called the Oregon SHIBA program. You'll probably find that information on the same link as well. And I'd highly advise you to use that information, because when it comes to Medicare, I'll just say it's very confusing. You got your Medicare Part A, that's your hospitalization. Your Part B, that's your doctor visits, your medical equipment. Do you want prescription coverage? That's Medicare Part D. Or you can bundle all those services into what's called a Medicare Part C plan, or otherwise known as a Medicare Advantage plan. Or you can stick with just your A, B, and D, or just A and B, and get something called a supplement plan, which in the state of Oregon, there's about 160 of those available last time I checked. And if I've lost you at any point during this, I don't blame you. There is a lot to know about Medicare, and Medicare is very unforgiving of making a mistake. So what I'd highly advise you to do is, if you have any questions, if you were confused at all by anything I said regarding Medicare, please get that help. They're a state agency just like ours, and they offer that unbiased assistance. That's the Oregon SHIBA program, SHIBA, Senior Health Insurance and Benefits Assistance, to get that help with Medicare, to make sure that you get the coverage you need and that you're not paying any of those penalties for making a mistake when you choose to. So I mentioned some of the tools that we have available on our website. First of all, we have that window shopping tool that you can use to see what you potentially qualify for. But let's say, okay, yes, I know I want to do this. I want to apply for the marketplace, or I want to apply for the Oregon Health Plan. How do you do that? Well, you can, of course, use the website for that application, but sometimes you want some additional help. You want somebody to guide you through that process. On our website, we have the Find Local Help tool, where you can enter in some general information about what you're looking for. You enter in your zip code, what type of help you're looking for. I want help with the Oregon health plan. I want help with the marketplace. I'm looking for a Sheba counselor. You enter in that information, it'll show you all the places in your local area that offer that type of assistance. It'll give you their contact information, the languages that they speak, the hours that they are open. You can reach out to them for that assistance. They are all vetted by our agency, and they have to be vetted and approved to show up on that tool. So you know that if you go to that site, you are getting somebody that's approved by the state of Oregon to give you that help.